Hello and welcome to My Mortgage Minute. This is Jason Waters. Happy to have James B. Kynes Jr. with us today of the Rushman Moore Real Estate Group. Welcome, James.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, glad you're here. Today's gonna be a little different. He and I are both gonna dive into some of our personal passions on serial entrepreneurship. We're gonna talk about commercial real estate and maybe some football. I got my Marietta shirt on, so we're just gonna see where the stories take us, and we'll go from there.
Well, man, look, I'm gonna tell you like this: that me and Marietta kind of got we have a, I don't know if it's a love, hate, or hate, something, but I played high school ball in the Decatur era, from Decatur, and my last high school football game was against Marietta. When you guys beat us in the playoffs out in Marietta. It was a 0-0 up until halftime, and then it's a young guy by the name of Quincy Carter who came in the game as our quarterback after the half, and he was a freshman at the time. I was a senior, and that's when he was introduced to the world of high school football. So yeah, you guys have one of the schools that Mike can talk a little bit about football to us. Y'all beat us, so we're fair and square, I guess. But that was a fun time, man. so my son was able to get me some get back a little bit this past year.
Yeah, he did. Y'all got us.
He's at McEachin, so he didn't go back to Decatur, but we did play you guys. I think the game was at McEachin, and it was a pretty good game though. So we looking forward to seeing you guys again this year.
I look forward to football this fall with everybody in the stands.
Everybody back, man. Yeah. It's exciting. And we're supposed to be talking about business, and football is always a great conversation for me.
More people will watch this and listen to this than if we were talking about business,
I believe that. Thanks for having me though, man. I'm glad to be here, man.
It's great. Tell us a little bit let's talk about all the different things you're involved with.
Oh man, so
not all of them, but
it's just a few of them. Man, it's been such a great opportunity to grow. Just as a person and as a company. Obviously, with 2020, was kind of like a wash of a year, so to speak. But I kind of framed 2020 to a lot of my peers and a lot of people I talked to as a way to really truly reset and really truly get in tune with your passions and your gifts, so that you can come back out in 2021 and be a step ahead. I kind of would preface it like, if you have a lot going on, then you're gonna keep a lot going on. But if you were someone who was really like attached to like a position or a job, and you didn't, you weren't going to work, and that job was a part of your identity. Like, I know some people that were kind of like just in a like an almost lost because they didn't know what it is they were going to do. Somebody like me, I was in straight creative mode, and how can I become better? So I took 2020, obviously when the whole country shut down. I was actually involved with a mastermind, a 10 times mastermind growth group, and that was our facilitator was out of Texas. It was a group of and a series of discussions that really allowed me to dig deep within myself as far as just my approach and my process to accomplishing goals and manifesting lifestyle, or manifesting certain goals, and then just kind of really tapped into like the whole aspect of growth mindset, through 10 times approach, through basically, meditation, through calming your mind, through, visualizing what it is exactly you want to do. I also enrolled in, after the mastermind group was over, I was accepted and enrolled into the class of 2021, which will be graduating in a couple of, about a month or so now, from leadership to CAB. Awesome. That's been a great experience. Obviously, me being a owner, an entrepreneur, I was referred to the class by someone of a similar background as kind of a disruptor in that industry. So, ideally, like in those group settings such as like leadership to CAB, leadership Cobb, leadership Gwinnett, those leadership classes, you have a lot of individuals who actually work with and for like different sectors of the government, whether it's local municipalities, whether it's nonprofits, whether it's charter schools. You have a diverse, student flow. So that was something else that we plugged into towards that year, and it's kind of has spilled over into like 2021. But other than that, man, those are just some of those some growth initiatives that I was able to participate in. And I think it's really helping grow and position my real estate company, Rushman Moore, because we do commercial real estate. And
Okay.
another thing that we were able to do at the beginning of this year, we work with Emory. Emory, the business school of Gosweta, for their Start Me program, which is like a mentorship program for entrepreneurs and startup businesses and things of that nature. It was funny because last year, before the pandemic hit, I put out into the universe, into the atmosphere, that I wanted to help about 20 entrepreneurs in last year. And so it was funny because I didn't never relent on that goal of working with, as many entrepreneurs as I possibly can, whether it was, to get the process started with them, to begin looking for a space for their business, or, whether it was, to work with them in some type of preparation or mentorship capacity. And so it went all of 2020 and kind of like was trying to figure out how this was going to happen. And when I got reached out to from the young lady over at Emory about coming on, being a mentor for the Start Me program. And so I worked in the Clarkston cohort, which was very good for me because, it kind of went in conjunction with working with Leadership to Cab this past year. And so in my Clarkston cohort, I had about 18 entrepreneurs in that group that I was able to have conversations with on a weekly basis. And then we had breakout groups where I had maybe like 2 or 3 entrepreneurs who we actually dove deeper into like their business concepts to help them position for pitch nights and things of that nature. So it was a great opportunity. Overall, I think we had like 50 entrepreneurs and startups that were in the overall program, because there's 3 different communities that were involved. One was the Clarkston, one was the East Atlanta, and the other one was the South Atlanta cohort. So we were able to get levels of exposure both to the new entrepreneurs as well as to be exposed to new entrepreneurs coming into the marketplace. And so that's kind of what has led up to me, I think, definitely being able to give back in a way and position our brand from strength to really create community amongst ourselves with individuals, entrepreneurs, and business owners that we are really like in tune to work with and want to help and see them grow in all types of capacities. And that's kind of just where we are right now, just finishing up those causes. And obviously the day-to-day is really helping people position themselves to get in locations for their business, or find a turnkey business that they're looking to actually acquire or sell as well. So man, that's the long short of 2020 and to now.
Sounds like you made the most of the pandemic year. Hey, tell me a little bit about the real estate group. So do you do tenant rep or purchase and sell? Like what all do you do for Rushman Moore?
So Rushman Moore is definitely it's a commercial real estate firm. We decided to, once we incepted the company, well, not even exactly when we incepted it. Like, if initially we were going to be so many things from the start, but I started realizing that specialization wasn't all bad. So back in like 2016, I actually entered into a class called REAP, which is the Real Estate Associates Program. The intentional purpose of REAP is to expose minority candidates about the commercial real estate industry, all aspects of the commercial real estate industry. Obviously, it was a push to just add diversity, add some inclusion to that marketplace, add equity to the commercial real estate industry from a representation capacity. Meaning that African Americans are roughly about 2% makeup of participating in like the commercial real estate industry. So while I was in REAP, I was very general because I was so serial in my entrepreneurship. I had owned a grooming lounge and spa for men in Buckhead, so I was doing professional barbering at the time. I was doing some consultation work as well, but the clientele that I had with the barbering was like very a massive clientele. So that's what I was doing. So when I entered in the REAP, it was kind of like at a time for me to really understand like all aspects of the commercial industry, and kind of help simplify what I was doing. So they taught us about tenant rep, landlord rep, property management, development, the analyzation aspect of multifamily and investment sales. We touched bases with all that. And so for me, it was like, what's the common thing that I think my background brings that I will be able to really like add value to the industry and really create a niche for myself. And so when I really understood what tenant rep was, like, I thought like, that's really like, I think where I need to really start my commercial career. I can simplify myself and really focus in on what I want to do as far as helping other individuals, find, locations and present their brands in a way that they are operating from a position of strength,
Awesome.
more than anything else. So we dove down the tenant rep lane, and we also do business brokerage as well.
Okay.
The business brokerage aspect of it is the prehistory to how I even got my real estate license to start with, and that was based off of me when I was working in the shop. I had clients coming in and they were investors, and they were looking for businesses to invest in, and I began facilitating meetings between clients here and there, that were had mutual interests, but on opposite ends. I had a affinity for doing transactions because before I even got called into barbering full time, I actually worked in corporate America, and I sold office equipment business to business. And the business to business aspect that I learned in selling office equipment was really like the catalyst for me understanding like the difference between B2B and B2C, so when I initially got my real estate license, it was in large part due to kind of the activity I was doing as far as facilitating the meetings within the shop. But it was a career sector that was kind of built around that, which was called business brokerage. And that was, the idea of helping people buy and sell like existing turnkey businesses. So I had my wife had a friend. My wife had a friend who introduced me to her clients who were actual business brokers, and they informed me that I need to get my real estate license to do business brokerage. And so that was the first introduction to me, hearing about getting my real estate license, and that was the purpose as to why I wanted to get it, so I can just move into a business broker. And so when you fast forward it up into 2016, where I was learning about other aspects of commercial, because I knew I wanted to do commercial. I just didn't know exactly what that was going to look like until I got into like the REAP program. Once I finished with the REAP program, I interviewed with a couple of firms, and it just, obviously didn't, everything has to be a fit. Like, it had to be a fit for you. You have to be a fit for them. And so it's like I wasn't, fitting at the time with some of the companies that I was interviewing with. And so as an entrepreneur and as a creator, with a marketing background and a strong sense of branding and creating brands, I just created my own situation to kind of, circumvent and, be a catalyst for the aspects of the commercial real estate industry that I wanted to participate in, which was the tenant representation and business brokerage. So I built Rushman was like a tailor-made suit. Like, I built it, around my specific skill sets, but it's bigger than just my skill sets. It's a platform for me to hire individuals who are similar to me, that have a more unconventional path into the industry, or even for someone who is just already experienced in the industry, and just looking to work with a firm that is, emerging and growing and creating a culture that is very inclusive. I kind of like to say we're more like the killer whales of the industry. Like we like to hunt sharks, and we like to have fun doing it. So we want to create like a community that's very cohesive with working with each other, that likes to see each other individual within the community, have success and win at the end of the day. So we take on like what I call an orca mentality,
That's awesome.
on how we hunt for opportunities and deals and situations.
That's a great story. we're about out of time. I do want to ask you a couple things. First, I'll make a comment. Most people don't know like the origins of, or that to be a business broker is really governed by real estate law in Georgia. Kind of a throwback to when businesses were, physically based. A lot of
Right,
times these days you're selling a business and they don't have a physical location. But
right.
it's interesting. But I was going to ask you, like, what are you seeing in we know residential market's super hot. I do a loan, working with buyers every day, and there's gonna be 20 offers on a house. What is a commercial? And then I've heard over the last year that their expectations that commercial market would get soft, would be softer because people are working from home, people maybe not going back to the office. What are you seeing around maybe commercial rent, commercial lease pricing, as well as sales?
So what I'm seeing actually right now is the market is very strong, in a sense, and it's strong because you're dealing with, even smaller municipalities right now, because of what you said. People want to stay a little bit, want to be a little more local to
Yeah.
where they may reside, or their children's school, or closer to family members or something of that nature. It is almost forced like smaller municipalities, to up their infrastructure, to provide levels of amenities that, if I'm leaving my house in the suburbs to go to the city, like, why am I going all the way to the city to work? Well, it's the levels of amenities that's provided. It's the level of culture that is, instilled and around at the end of the day. So with that uptick, you're seeing a lot of development in, like, even like some of the smaller municipalities. They're circumventing and trying to create more of a home base, for their community, for their people that live there. So people have come home and stayed home and worked home. So it's been great for like local economies, because people now have began to have to shop more locally. And when it comes like groceries, when it comes to other amenities, and not even shop, but now you're at home and you can order something online and it can be delivered to you. So you're not having to leave out to go to like other pockets of town to experience like real opportunities to network, opportunities to grow and meet new people. But the development market is strong, and if you're going to bring a bunch of new residents to a community, you're going to need like places for them to work, that's operational in a way that is in a best in class facility. Like, so you have, so an example of that would be like you have all these high-end houses with all these great executives that live in these houses, and now they have to go all the way downtown to work. Well, they want to kind of work close to where they live as well, but you have to provide like the levels of amenities that they're looking for, that's going to provide for them the opportunity to network and grow their business models how they see fit. So I've seen a market that is truly shifting, in a way of, you have a even with a lot of these smaller municipalities, they're doing things that create a sense of transit orientated development. They're building a lot around trails, a lot around infrastructure, a lot around not even like high rail transit. You're looking at more bike, more walking, more leisure. Like, how can we build an infrastructure? The Beltline in the city of Atlanta has really been a great catalyst for this type of spawning of an economy in other areas of town. Whereas now you got people where, if you have access to the river, so to speak, now you're seeing like development taking place close to the river, because people want to be close to where like the bike trails, the mountain trails, the walk trails, things of that nature. So a lot of that shifting is it's been healthy, I think, for the industry, because it broadens it out even more. It provides a little more amenities for like constituents. It provides companies who will, because a lot of time, like a lot of these companies, they won't, quote unquote, vacate office buildings and vacate office spaces altogether. Some may downsize their footprint. Some may actually increase the footprint. And I think like holistically, like you're going to still have a level of people that just don't want to work at home. Like they prefer to move and go into like an office building. So a lot of people thought like it was going to dry up the market. Like, people are going to be moving out of office a lot. So as even with the COVID economy, so as another economy emerges, you got businesses and companies that's going to emerge with that economy as well. So they're going to have to scale their operations so that they won't really be able to fully just work out of home all the time. If you're a business, you're going to have to scale into a location in this new economy, because you got new products, you got new services that have, kind of come up. Like, so it's a great opportunity in most parts, that if you can identify where there is a niche of need. You may not start out, and that's one of the benefits of working with us as tenant brokers is, we may not, just because you approach me and say you want a space, I'm going to kind of drill you down and try to make sure that you understand like everything that comes into having a retail space or having an office space. And, are you really ready for it? And are you really ready to begin to like scale your operation to support it? Because a lot of times people begin looking at it like, I'm gonna get a space and I'm going, I just need it for me to run my business. Okay, and then they say, they may come with like a budgetary number on how much they want to pay per month, but it's, based on how much square foot you say you need and how much you want to pay per month, like you're not parallel in your expectations. Right. So it's like when I begin, dumb it down, making looking into the expectations on what they're looking to actually do, it helps them realize, okay, well, maybe I got to start looking to hire, or maybe I need to bring on a sales team, or maybe it's other things that you're going to have to do to scale your business to support moving into a location. So it's not just let me go find your place to put your business and watch you fail. Like we don't flow like that. Like we want to see you win at the end of the day. So we have to try to help you pump your brakes a little bit before you take a leap into a situation that you may not fully be ready for. We want to help you identify those areas within your operation that can, strengthen what you're doing so that you can support being in a location.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, being a consultant is definitely, what you are in terms of getting folks into the right space at the right time. Well, James, that's all all the time we have here today. I really appreciate you coming online. How can folks get in touch with you?
Sure. We are definitely on all social media platforms, and it's at Rushman Moore, RUSHMOOREREG. That's, on Instagram, Twitter. We're on LinkedIn as well. My phone number is, I'm gonna give you my personal phone number, actually, 678-360-2744. Email address is, you can send us to our info at rushmanmoorereg.com. Our website is also rushmanmoorereg.com as well. And we also have a contact page on that website too. So if you missed any of the information I just told you, make sure you just go to the website, and you can definitely follow us from all social media platforms, and as well as send me an email through that platform as well. And I'd be glad to get back in touch with you. Someone from my team will get back in touch with you so we just grow relationships.
Thank you, James. That's it for Mortgage Minute today. You can get in touch with me. You can find me on social media. Just search Jason Waters Mortgage Minute, or always you can give me a call, 404-403-8787. Take care. Until next time, stay safe